Bergfield from the Central Valley Academy of Music in singing O Canada.
O Canada, our native land, true patriot love, in all our sons command, with glowing hearts receiving us, a true North strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our lands glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Please be seated. My name is Tim Becker, Vice President of Administration at UCSB, and it's my pleasure to be here in DC this afternoon and to welcome you to this, the second of 6 convocation ceremonies to be held this 2006. If you turn to page 18 in your program, you'll be able to follow along with this afternoon's ceremony. Before we actually start with the ceremony, I'd like to recognize some special guests who are joining us this afternoon. With us on stage are Mr. Rob Nicklin, Chair of our Board of Governors, Ms. Stacy Irwin, Chair of the UCSB Alumni Board, Dr. Jean Scott and Dr. Kuldeep Gill, both of whom are honorary degree holders from UCSB. In the VIP seating in our audience is His Worship Mayor James Atebi of the District of Mission. Also, members of our Board of Governors, representatives of UCSB's University College and our Aboriginal Community Council, and our Student Union Society, including President Ben Reed, our senior administrators and faculty members. I'd also like to acknowledge those among our drummers, which included Kelsey Charlie, Troy Charlie, and Marvin Leon from Chehalis First Nations, and Jonathan Williams Bernard from the Shiam Band. I would now like to call on Dr. Harold Basford, President of UCSB, for his address to Convocation.
Distinguished guests, family, friends who are graduates, our alumni, board members, my faculty and staff colleagues, but of course most especially, our graduating class. Welcome to Convocation. Earlier this morning, I was pleased to convene the 31st Convocation Assembly of UCFB. This year, Convocation has assembled for 6 ceremonies, during which we shall confer certificates, diplomas, and degrees on 1,800 students. This ceremony allows us to honor the graduates of child and youth care, early childhood education, social work, and human services. The word ceremony is used advisory with acronym. For while UCFB is a new university, today's event is very much grounded in a long history. You see us before you, for example, in our academic regalia. We wear our robes to honor truly an ancient university tradition, wherein the robes and the various hats and other accoutrements that scholars wore identified their function, their status, their institution. Today at UCFB, at formal academic functions, our faculty members wear either a plain black teaching gown in honor of what their work is first and foremost about, or the gown of the university from which they receive their highest academic credential. The exception is the president, who has the honor of wearing the gown of the university that she or he served. Accordingly, our graduates and I, wearing UCFE regalia, symbolically connect UCFE itself as a young institution to a long tradition of learning and service. Another part of that tradition can be found in the answer to a question some of you may have had as you looked at the booklet explaining the day. Why do we talk of convocation rather than graduation? After all, aren't we here in a ceremony of graduation for the students seated before me? The answer is yes, we are. But that is not all that we are here for. The word convocation historically has meant the great legislative assembly of the university. It was used that way to refer to the legislative assemblies of the ancient English universities, Oxford, Cambridge. This was the time at this assembly when all the graduates of the university and all its faculty were invited to come together to discuss the university's present and their future. Accordingly, earlier today, when I convened Convocation, I called together all that makes up UCFE. I convened our faculty and our staff, who are our teachers and our scholars, our board, to bring the wisdom of the communities we serve, and our ever-growing number of alumni, who are all of those who have studied and learned here before and carry the word to the community of what we offer. It is this body that certifies our graduates as having the knowledge and skills that our programs were meant to teach. Moreover, as they graduate, they not only go out from UCFE with their certification, but they, you, become members of Convocation itself. And as members of Convocations, you continue to have, we hope, an active part in the great history of learning that's the history of the university. Since we stand before Convocation, I need to say a few short words to report on the status of our university. It won't take long, because there is shortly coming out our community report, which will detail the many, many achievements of UCFE students, faculty, and the institution itself. I would urge you all to read it. Let me just say that UCFE, on this 31st Convocation, can be said to have come a long way. It began as a small community college in Chilliwack, Fraser Valley College, and was very successful. It spent many years serving this valley very well indeed. But now we've grown tremendously. We're larger than half the universities in Canada. And this year, we have over 10,000 people enrolled as students at UCFE. We are still a college, still a university, still an institution that values its past. And that past was to be designed to serve the needs of the Fraser Valley. We are comprehensively, proudly offering pre-university and further education programs, trades and other applied technical programs, career programs, over 60 different certificates and diplomas, bachelor's degrees in 22 different majors, and as of this year, a master's degree. While our faculty, and I'm happy to say our students, do significant amounts of research, We are a teaching-intensive university, striving first and foremost to provide the best possible learning experience for our students. Rather than sitting on the sidelines of our communities, as historically many universities have done, we work closely with our communities. Our communities help us to plan our appropriate offerings. Our faculty, our staff, our students reciprocate by sitting on community boards and volunteering extensively for community activities. A sign of that interaction is here today, just outside the gym, at the table of what is called the Friends of UCFE Society. The Friends are a community group of business leaders, social leaders, government leaders who have come together to have UCFE designated as a university rather than as a university college. When this group succeeds, and they will, UCFE will have the name to go along with what we have in fact, what these students before us have seen, that we have become a model case of the 21st century regional university. I would urge you all to visit them today before you go. And I urge our graduates even more to visit them, because they tell me that to join the Friends once you are an alumnus costs $10, but if you go today, it's still the $1 student special for you. Let me address a few words specifically to our graduates. All of you have chosen studies leading to professions that have service to community for their very reason for being. You have chosen careers dedicated to improving the social fabric of the community. I believe a quote from the great 17th century thinker, Francis Bacon, is still worth thinking about today. He said, "Some covet knowledge out of a natural curiosity and inquisitive temper, so to entertain the mind with variety and delight. Some for ornament and reputation, some for victory and contention, many for lucre and livelihood, and but few for employing the divine gift of reason to the use and benefit of humankind." Bacon would, as I do, congratulate you on your choices. While your choices are for useful social lives, which I am sure will be very satisfying, they won't be easy. Aristotle, one of the greatest thinkers of all time, taught us that a well-lived human life requires humans to actualize their potential. To use our current language, to have a successful life, one must be all that one can be. He also taught us that people can develop their potential only if they can come to respect themselves. And that can happen only if those who are helping them to grow, those who are helping them to find their way in life, can find something in them to respect. You will be spending your professional lives helping those who need to develop, the young, those in crisis, those who have become social deviants. And to help them, you must always find it in yourselves to respect them as human beings. Aristotle also taught us that humans are social animals, which means that they will flourish only in a supportive and enriching community. In a time of great change, the stressors upon individuals and upon communities are very large ones. Coping with such change is very difficult. Finding ways to thrive in times of change is even more difficult. Those who would undertake to help individuals and communities to develop their potential in such times need patience, dedication, and great skill. If you and your professors have both done your jobs in class, and I am absolutely certain you have done so, you graduates will have gone some way towards having the tools you will need. Indeed, everyone here today is proud of your accomplishments. Everyone here today is confident that you will have satisfying futures as leaders of a better society. You have every right to be proud as well. You've also earned the right to have today be not only a ceremony, and now I smile, but also a great celebration. Enjoy yourself the rest of the day. Enjoy yourself as you walk across the stage. Show everyone here your smiles. Well, they're not all smiling. Now it's better. And as for all of you, the families and the friends and the graduates, as our graduates walk across the stage, show them how much you appreciate what they have learned and how proud you are of them. Feel free to applaud, stamp your feet, hoot and holler, play your kazoos, whatever works. So with that, let's get on with the rest of the celebration. Thank you.
This afternoon, we are pleased to present UCFB's Teaching Excellence Award. I'd now like to ask Dr. Greg Anderson, Chair of the University College Council, to come forward to make this presentation.
Thank you. Good afternoon. The UCFB Teaching Excellence Award is given out annually to recognize an outstanding educator as demonstrated in their teaching practice, the learning environment they create, and their commitment and professionalism. While it is a great honor to be nominated for this award by our students and our peers, it is even a bigger honor to win such an award within the university college setting that places such high value on teaching excellence. Today, UCFB's University College Council is pleased to recognize one of our finest with the 2006 Teacher Excellence Award, Jordan Melzer of the Early Childhood Education, Child and Youth Care Department. Comments before we bring George up here. George Melzer knows that he has a curriculum to cover and a job to do in preparing students for careers in the child care field. But George, who has been an ECE instructor at UCFB since 1994, also knows that teaching is about more than transmitting skills and knowledge. To quote him, "I like to think of what I do as helping to build people. I want to help my students be prepared to help others and live meaningful lives. Some of them may not even end up working with children, but they will take something away from my classes, and it may even help them be better parents." George observes that most of the students like my approach, which includes a lot of stories and visual aids. It is especially suited to early childhood students. His students obviously agree. They nominated him for the Teaching Excellence Award this year. He creates an open and playful environment, a communal atmosphere in his classes, and in order to spark that learning process, he has a philosophy of teaching. His philosophy of teaching is to make the material meaningful and real by coming up with creative ways to get his point across, so that it has real impact. He notes, I believe, that if you connect with the heart, then the head will follow. People need a nest or a comfortable place to safely store what they're learning in order to have it really stick. George teaches in the one-year Early Childhood Education Certificate Program and also in the Family Child Care Program. He teaches human development courses and also supervises students when they complete their 200-hour practicum at an area child care center. That really helps me stay connected to the child care field, and I also get to visit with a lot of the alumni, he says. He got his start in the field by working with child care centers in the Okanagan, then attended Simon Fraser, earning a bachelor's degree focusing on early childhood and a master's in education, focusing on designing play environments and developing educational programs. He and his family are also involved in volunteer work, providing educational resources to orphans and schools in Thailand, Rwanda, Romania, Haiti, and Mexico. Statements by his students in support of their nomination pay tribute to his enthusiasm and his creativity. George's enthusiasm and passion for his field are contagious, said one student. I found myself working to catch hold of that drive and bring that same level of joy to my work and education. George motivates his students and pushes them to dig under the surface to really discover what early childhood education is all about, says another. When George walked into the room, you could just feel how much he loved teaching, said another. He was so enthusiastic about the subject, he makes it fun and encourages us to learn.
I now call on Dr. Jack Snodgrass, Dean of the Faculty of Science, Health, and Human Services, to come to the podium.
Mr. Nicklin and Dr. Basford, I will now present graduates of the Early Childhood Education, Child and Youth Care Programs, and School of Social Work and Human Services Program who have fulfilled all the requirements of their individual programs. First, I present graduates in UCFB's Bachelor of Arts in Child and Youth Care degree program led on Laranna, Cameo, and Androsoff. Stephen A. Doug. Nelson Antonio Escobar. Michelle Lee Ann Lloyd-Kate. Sean McNabb. Sangeeta Mystery. Connie Ujelski. Amber Louise Marie Moffis.
In applying our values of a helping profession into practice, I'm sure many of us will relate to our experiences here at the UCFB as we devote ourselves professionally to serving our communities and the humanity as a whole. It hasn't been an easy journey, to say the least. Today, as we gather for the recognition of the hard work in form of certificates, diplomas, and degrees, I'm sure each one of us can relate to the seemingly never-ending all-nighters, the dreaded deadlines for assignments, and crazy pondering over the last-minute extension requests. We've all been through that. For many of you, this was in addition to juggling between full-time and part-time jobs and families. And that's what makes it even more worthwhile and special to be here, sitting here today with sharing the moment with the ones who love us and who are always there for us, who believed in us and made it all possible for us to be here today. And these special people are sitting amongst us not only as friends, family, and honored guests, but also as respected teachers and instructors. Thank you all. Hats off and a heartfelt thank you to all the special people, including the ones who could not make it today and are with us today. And on a personal note, I'd like to thank my mom and dad. I'd like to thank you for being there. And also, without you, you couldn't have done it. And also, my loving wife Raju is not here today. And I'm sure she probably know this, but I want to thank her for putting up with me, not complaining of the late night keystrokes on the computer where she was trying to go to sleep and I was doing my all-nighters. So thank you, Raj. Attending the university, the UCFB, has been more than just attaining an education for me. It has been about enriching life experiences and about learning the importance of human relationships. Some of us may have had vast and varied experiences, while others may have had some on a shorter span. However, regardless of the length and depth, I'm sure these experiences are equally valuable to each one of us, and we will take them with us, and they will enhance our life in their own unique way for the long time to come. And there may have been many times where many of us may have questioned our own values, where the knowledge we gained, the newly found knowledge, the newly gained knowledge in our class changed and challenged our thinking of maintaining the status quo and all that. I'm sure most of us have went back home and tried to convince our family members through our newly found wisdom. And I'm sure there may be many occasions like that because I've been there. However, most importantly, with all that, we know that we broadened our horizons and opened up our minds. Remember the frame of reference? And all the while building relationships, finding a friend and a fellow student or a teacher. I mean, learning was just so much fun at UCFB. Would you agree? Education has provided us with invaluable tools to be the best at what we all believe in, helping. And with education comes knowledge, and with knowledge comes awareness. Awareness of not just who and what we are, but also of the value and importance of human diversity, its acceptance and appreciation. And with these attributes, we've grown personally, and now, as you will all find, professionally. We developed and we changed for the better. Talking about change, let me just share you one thing. During my span of learning at UCFB, I not only changed my majors from crim to social work, but also changed career goals from that of a child protection worker to now as a parole officer, and now I've changed provinces to live too. Now that's change. And that's what UCFB is all about, instilling change for the better. I must add that I've been fortunate enough to have had a part of this journey in the traditional land of the Stolar people. And I'm even more grateful to have had the opportunity to work with the people of the Stolar Nation and to have learned their language. These experiences will stay with me for the rest of my life. And I'm glad that I attended the UCFB, where the First Nation studies are a part of the academic programs. UCFB is growing, and so it should. It will soon become BC's newest university, but we all know that deep down, this institution has been an integral part of the community, this community. I'm sure we can all agree that one of the most outstanding characteristics of our experiences as students here have been the comparative small sizes of the classes and the way our instructor doted over us. Talk about personalized tutoring as its best, eh? One of my First Nation classes, one of the First Nation elder speakers once mentioned that in order for us to know where we're heading, we must know first where we have been. This institution has deep roots in this community, and I know and I believe that it will reach sky high. Because I truly believe that no matter how far and wide it grows, UCFB will remain through and through this community's heartland for higher education, its own landmark for academic excellence. Well, we all had our ups and downs. We complained, we nagged, we laughed, we shared, we formed invaluable relationships, friendships. We even made goodies, or actually had made goodies. Remember the UC? FB. I guess only the B is the only people who know that, but anyways. And now we are here, and that's something to be proud of, guys. As we carry on with our journeys to wherever they may take us, I know that we will carry a part of the UCFB with us as we have been a part of it. And you know what? I would do it all over again. Don't worry, Gloria. I'm talking about the master's graduate school. On behalf of my fellow graduates here, I would sincerely like to thank the Faculty of Science, Health, and Human Services, the School of Social Work and Human Services, and the Early Childhood Education, Child and Youth Care Department, and staff. It is because of your dedication and your belief in our abilities that has brought our efforts to these heights. With this, I thank you all for the opportunity today. I wish you all the very best of what the future holds. May we all reach our fullest potential and become the best in whatever we do in our helping professions. And of course, may we all celebrate and party like it's 1999. Cheers!
Now, a while ago, all your family members and friends stood up and gave you a great big round of applause for your achievements. So it should be. But now, graduates, I'd like to invite you to extend your thanks to all the family members and friends here today who supported you during your studies. So how about you to take first?